right, cat fans. Are you ready to decode some serious kitty communication?
Buckle up because today's deep dive is all about understanding how our feline friends express their love.
We're going beyond, like, the purrs and head boops.
We really want to understand what your cat is trying to tell you.
Yeah, because let's be real for a second. Sometimes those messages get lost in translation. Like, you think you're getting the cuddle on the couch memo, but your cat's thinking you're warm and a very convenient place to practice my claws.
Exactly. And that's where I think understanding a bit about feline behavior can really come in handy. So we're going to help you decode those subtle signs of affection that might have you wondering if your cat actually enjoys your company.
And trust me, once you understand their language, you'll realize those little weirdos really do love us in their own special way.
They do.
So we dug into two awesome YouTube videos breaking down those mysterious feline expressions of love, and both sources jumped right into the classic sign of cat contentment, purring. Seems straightforward, right?
You would think so, but it's actually more nuanced than most people realize.
Okay.
So while purring often signals your cat is feeling like happy and relaxed, it can also be a sign of stress or even pain.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me my cat might actually be in distress when they're purring up a storm at the vet's office?
Yeah.
I thought they just loved all the free attention.
It's definitely possible. You see, for cats, purring is thought to be like a self-soothing mechanism, a way to kind of cope with like difficult or uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
So that purring might not be a sign of pure bliss, but rather their way of trying to stay calm under pressure.
That's wild. So how can we tell the difference between a happy purr and a something's wrong purr?
Well, context is key. You really have to pay attention to their body language. If your cat is all curled up next to you, relaxed posture, maybe even giving you some slow blinks, we'll talk about those later, that purr probably means they're in kitty heaven.
But if they're hiding under the bed, sounding like a tiny motorboat, maybe time to investigate a little further.
Exactly. And then, hey, don't beat yourself up if you've ever been fooled by a seemingly affectionate purr. We've all been there. Remember, cats are masters of subtlety.
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen for the "I'm starving, feed me now" purr.
Right.
Speaking of subtle, our sources also dug into how cats use scent to communicate, which, as any cat owner knows, is a big deal for them.
Huge. It really is. One source highlighted how cats use head bunting as a way to show affection and mark their territory. And it's not just about being cute. Cats have scent glands on their heads, and when they rub against you, they're actually leaving their scent.
Interesting.
Like a personalized, "this human is mine" sign.
So basically, if your cat headbutts you, it's like a furry declaration of ownership.
Precisely. And that shared scent is super important to them. It creates a sense of belonging and security. The other source focused on a different behavior, but with a similar purpose. Kneading. You know those adorable little paw punches they like to do on soft surfaces or on your lap?
Oh, I know it well. Though adorable isn't always the first word that comes to mind when those claws come out.
Right, well, those paws also have scent glands. Kneading is another way for them to mix their scent with yours, further solidifying that bond and creating a sense of shared territory.
So they're basically saying, you are part of my crew, we're a team. And speaking of teams, one thing our feline overlords are known for is bringing us gifts.
Really?
You know, those little tokens of appreciation, like a dead lizard or a juicy cockroach?
Right, the infamous gifts of prey.
Yeah.
Now, one source, they kind of found the humor in it, and let's face it, it is kind of hilarious in a slightly morbid way. But the other source really delved into the deeper meaning behind this behavior, explaining it as a sign of deep trust.
Because nothing says I care like a half-eaten mouse on your pillow.
Well, have to see it from their perspective, right? Cats are hardwired to provide for their family, and that includes you. In their minds, they're sharing their hunting success, making sure you're well fed, even if you haven't quite mastered the art of catching a field mouse.
It's a good thing we've got those can openers, right?
Okay.
But seriously, that's actually kind of sweet. They see us as part of their family and want to take care of us, even if their methods are a little unconventional.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of unconventional ways to show affection, both sources raved about slow blinking as a major indicator of love in the feline world.
Okay.
Apparently, those languid blinks are the equivalent of a kitty kiss.
Really? So all this time, I thought my cat was just giving me the sleepy stare. She was actually saying, I love you. That's adorable.
It is, and there's actually some fascinating research to back this up. Yeah, one source cited a 2022 study that looked specifically at how cats respond to their owners' voices, compared to strangers' voices.
Interesting.
And they found that cats showed a much stronger reaction to their owners, suggesting a deeper level of recognition and connection.
So they really do know our voices. It's
Yeah.
not just me imagining those little ear twitches when I call my cat's name.
Not at all. They're tuned in to you. And those slow blinks are their way of communicating trust and affection. They're essentially saying, I feel safe and relaxed around you. It's like a nonverbal I love you message.
Okay, that's it. I'm going to try slow blinking back at my cat tonight and see what happens.
You should. Let me know how it goes.
I will. I'm curious. Are there any other subtle signs of affection that we should be looking out for?
Definitely. Aside from the purring, the head bunting, the kneading, and the slow blinks, both sources highlighted a few other behaviors that often get misinterpreted as aloofness or indifference, but are actually signs your cat feels comfortable and bonded to you.
Like what? Spill the tea? So are we talking like those times they weave between your legs while you're trying to make coffee? Because honestly, sometimes I think he's just trying to trip me.
Well, knowing cats, that's probably part of it. But it's also their way of saying, hey, pay attention to me. I'm here. You're here. Let's hang out. They're acknowledging your presence and wanting to be near you.
Interesting. And what about when they just casually drape themselves over your keyboard while you're trying to work? Is that their way of boosting productivity?
Not quite. But it is a sign of trust and contentment. They want to be close to you, even if it means interrupting your workflow. They see you as a source of warmth, comfort, and security.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. It's like they're saying, you're my human and I'm going to be as close to you as possible, even if it drives you a little crazy.
Exactly. And let's be real, those little quirks are part of what make them so endearing. But here's another interesting tidbit. One source pointed out that a lot of the behaviors cats display with their humans are actually behaviors they use with other cats when they're feeling, chummy.
So like rubbing against you, hanging out in your personal space, those aren't signs of indifference. They're actually trying to be friends.
Exactly. It's their way of saying, you're cool, human. We can be weird together. And don't forget, a stressed or scared cat is more likely to hide, not hang out. So a cat who's comfortable being themselves around you, that's a big vote of confidence.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, my cat is kind of a weirdo, but that's why I love him.
And he loves you for accepting his weirdness.
That's
It's a
it.
beautiful, mutually awkward friendship.
This has been seriously eye-opening. I feel like I've unlocked a whole new level of understanding with my cat. So if I'm picking up what our sources are putting down, it's really those subtle, everyday moments where cats reveal their true feelings.
Exactly. They might not be big on grand gestures, but those little head boops, slow blinks, even the occasional gift of a dead lizard, those are their love letters to you.
Well said. So to all you cat people out there listening, pay attention to the little things. Your cat might be saying, I love you in ways you never even realize. This has been a fantastic deep dive. Thanks so much for walking us through it.
My pleasure. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go practice my slow blinks.